Good evening, I'm Rich Lerner. There is sad news to report tonight. Grayson Murray, who won the Sony Open in Hawaii just this past January, has died at the age of 30. Details of his passing aren't yet known. When Murray won in Honolulu this year, it was a dramatic story. He had been open about his struggles with anxiety and alcoholism, saying he hoped he would be able to inspire people going forward. Grayson Murray was born in Raleigh, North Carolina. He put together a stellar junior record, so good that he made a cut on the Korn Ferry Tour as a 16-year-old. He then began his college career at Wake Forest before transferring to East Carolina and then Arizona State. Turned pro in 2015, won on the Korn Ferry Tour, then graduated to the PGA Tour. In 2017, he won the Barbasol Championship. 4 years later, he entered Hazelden Betty Ford in Minnesota to help deal with alcoholism, saying he got sober in 2023. At the Sony Open this year, Murray made a birdie on the 72nd hole to get into a playoff with Ben An and Keegan Bradley. And here on the first extra hole, Murray made this 38-footer for birdie in the win. He was in the field at Colonial this week. He opened with a 68. He was just on that cut line at 2 over par on his second round, playing the 16th hole before withdrawing, citing illness. We're joined now by PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan from the Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth. And, Commissioner, thank you for joining us, and our condolences to the PGA Tour family. It's a difficult day. Just curious, what is it you'd like to share right now with our golf audience, the golf family?
Well, Rich, it's absolutely a heartbreaking and devastating day, and to know that we've lost Grayson Murray, a player that's played out on the PGA Tour since 2017, has had 3 wins on the Korn Ferry Tour, 2 wins on the PGA Tour, and this is a family out here. This is a brotherhood, and we travel from week to week, and players go through their careers and they have highs and they have lows, and they see that amongst each other. They help each other, yet at the same time they're competing fiercely against each other every single week, as you guys well document. And the families extend to the caddies, to the management community, to the tournament organizations out here across our tours, the PGA Tour and Korn Ferry Tour in particular, for Grayson, and the wider golf world that has responded to this devastating news. I think it's just really to express our support for Grayson's family, and to express my and our support for everybody out here as we mourn the loss of Grayson Murray, a man that I had an opportunity to spend a lot of time with through the years. And I'm so incredibly saddened by today's news.
Jay, he had been open about his personal battles. You described Grayson Murray in your recent interview on CBS as courageous. What made him, in your estimation, courageous?
Well, Rich, I don't know if you guys have done this already, but if you go back to the Sony Open and his win in that playoff, and then go back and you look at the transcript from his post-round interview, and he talked so openly about about his challenges, and to me, that's the sign of courage. And I personally spent a lot of time with Grayson over the last year, and we had a lot of personal and private conversations, and I experienced that myself firsthand. And it was wonderful to see him be playing with the confidence and skill we all know and he knew that he had, and to have, and to be experiencing that success. And that's why, it makes today's news so devastating for everybody.
Commissioner, he said he withdrew yesterday due to illness. What more, if anything, did you learn about that illness?
I have not learned anything more about the reasons for his withdrawal yesterday.
I know you spoke to Grayson's family. What did they convey to you?
You know, we just, I reached out to them when I was made aware of the news, and I first was calling to obviously express my condolences, but to let them know that as an organization, we're here to support them in any and every capacity. You know, and they're obviously shocked. I mean, it's a family that's together that has just lost a loved one, and they were together, and, you know, we talked about today and what we could do today, and a lot of, you know, I talked openly about, you know, some of the considerations here at the tournament, and, you know, knowing how devastating this would be to everybody out here, talked about, you know, canceling today's round, so everybody had the appropriate time to reflect on Grayson Murray. And, you know, they were adamant that Grayson would want the players to play on. He wouldn't want to get in the middle of a championship like this one with players trying to win. But ultimately, that conversation was an opportunity for me to share some of the stories and memories I had with Grayson, but more particularly, just to let them share what was important to them. And obviously, it was a very, very difficult call to make, and, you know, our actions out here will suggest that they're going to, over the coming weeks, will show them the support that they have.
Tomorrow, Jay, for the final round, what might you do to honor his passing?
You know what? Listen, we're here. I'm going to go back in and talk to the players and others that are still here, and we'll get together as a team. And you know, it's about tomorrow. It's about the coming days. It's about the months ahead. It's, you know, what are you going to do to, you know, to honor Grayson and to support his family, and that work will begin in earnest. But right now, I think everyone's, you know, just trying to, you know, absorb this news and reflect on the man himself.
Yeah, it's a tough day, and more ahead. Commissioner Jay Monahan, we appreciate your time tonight, and again, condolences to that family of the PGA Tour. All right, this now from Grayson Murray's caddy, Jay Green. Grayson was the absolute best. Not only was he an incredible, thoughtful, and generous boss, he was an even better friend, truly would do anything for anyone. He has the best family, and my heart goes out to them. We will all miss him deeply. That from Jay Green, Grayson Murray's caddy. Let's bring in Todd Lewis right now. Todd covered the Sony Open in Hawaii, did the interview with Grayson right after he made that 38-footer on the first extra hole to win in the playoff. Todd, I know you've been reaching out to people with whom Grayson was close, including his coach, Josh Gregory. What did Josh share with you?
Well, first off, his coaches spent the most time with him, not only in regards to being on the driving range or on the golf course, but also off the course as well. And Josh Gregory probably had the heaviest influence off the golf course in regards to Grayson Murray. I spoke with Josh this afternoon. He was quite emotional, as you might imagine. And he wanted everyone to know that nobody treated people better than Grayson Murray. He was a great person, and he talked about the instance where Grayson flew Josh and his family out to Hawaii to celebrate a win on the PGA Tour and the great year that they had had. Other coaches that have worked with him, Scott Hamilton, who works with a lot of players out on the PGA Tour, had a chance to exchange some messages with him. He said, "This is just a tragedy if you consider that Grayson was getting his life back together, and this is an unbelievable loss." David Woods also worked as a coach with Grayson Murray, and he said that he just had a heart of gold. So those are the people that were probably the closest and most intimate with him on the PGA Tour. And all of us are just saddened by what has happened.
Todd, what's your recollection of the joy and the satisfaction that Grayson clearly had after having won the Sony Open, and you interviewed him.
Well, Rich, it's a great question. To appreciate the joy, you have to look back at what he was going through when he came out on the PGA Tour, between the PGA Tour and the Korn Ferry Tour. It's not a secret. He battled mental health issues, anxiety, depression. He battled alcoholism. He had a lot of scary moments in his life. But just over a year ago, he decided, after feeling comfortable enough in this time in our lives where it's okay to not be okay, to ultimately try to tackle these issues. He got counseling. He stopped drinking. He made a commitment to his body, going into the gym and working out a lot, getting in great shape, incredible shape. Made a commitment to his golf game, of course, and off the course in regards to having someone there for him. He met someone, fell in love, and was engaged and got engaged. And when I had a chance to interview him after his second PGA Tour victory, I looked back at the player and the person that was in Grayson Murray prior to this commitment and to the person that he is now. And I said, wow, it took a lot of courage for you to look yourself in the mirror and face these issues and do something about it. And you come out on the other side, not only with a victory and holding a trophy, but with what looks to be a victory in life and going down a positive road in recovery. So I was inspired. He openly talked about wanting to help and inspire others with his story. And, he said this, and this was said to him prior to that final round by his coach, Josh Gregory. He said, a win today is not going to change your life. It's going to change your career, but what you're doing is actually changing your life off the golf course. And Grayson, like I said, echoed those comments after. So I thought he was in a peaceful, wonderful place and going in a wonderful direction. And considering his story, to have his life cut so short, it's really tragic.
Todd, he said on that Sunday night after he won the Sony Open in Hawaii, my story is not finished. I think it is just the beginning. This is the start of something really special. Todd, thank you. This now from Scottie Scheffler, world number one. Obviously, the news has not really sunk in quite yet, but I'm thinking about his family and praying hard for all of them. Can't imagine how difficult of a time this is. Got to know Grayson a bit better over the last 6 months or so. And really there's not really a way to put it into words how sad and tragic it is, but I'm thinking about his family. This from Luke Donald. Devastating news that Grayson Murray has passed away. He asked me for some advice on how to play Augusta a few months ago. Last week I saw him at the PGA Championship. Life truly is precious. My condolences and prayers to his whole family that they may find some peace. Bubba Watson, very sad to hear the news of Grayson Murray's passing today. Life is so fragile. I was just hugging you at the Masters, telling you how proud of you I am, thankful to have known you. My deepest condolences to his family and friends during this difficult time. He will be missed. And Justin Thomas, speechless to hear about Grayson. The guy had been through so many ups and downs to get where he was. I hurt so much for his family and the people closest to him. My condolences and deepest sympathies. Johnson Wagner has joined us this evening. Johnson, how much golf, if at all, did you play with Grayson Murray? How well did you know him?
Well, heard about him living in Charlotte, North Carolina. I heard about him as a junior and knew how good he was. And when he came out on the PGA Tour, he really wanted to play a practice round with me. I don't know why. And we finally got to play at the Players Championship, and just blown away by his talent, and he was fun to be out with. And so we played a few more practice rounds over the years, a couple competitive rounds, echoing everybody's statements. We all have our faults. Not a single person on this earth is perfect. And for Grayson to have turned his life around the way he did, and to reach that mountaintop again at the Sony, his life was on track. It's just really, really tragic, a horrible, horrible day. And I just feel really bad for his friends and family.
You're getting quite a few text messages. What's the sentiment?
A little bit of disbelief, just knowing how Grayson was received on the PGA Tour in his early years, and now how he's been this past year, all the friends he's made, and his faith in Jesus Christ has really gotten him in a different sort of circle with Scotty Scheffler and Webb and just in Bubba and hearing these guys talk. It's just kind of, I think everybody's a little bit shocked and stunned.
Yeah, you just never know. Again, things professionally seem to have taken a turn for the better. The win in Hawaii, he made the cut at both the majors, the Masters and the PGA Championship. But again, you just never do know. Our condolences again. He has passed away at the age of 30. We don't know the specifics, the details, but PGA Tour veteran Grayson Murray, winner of the Sony Open in Hawaii earlier this year, has passed away. May his memory be a blessing.